today we are going to talk about creativity. We are going to talk about how I started my blog, which are my main advices for young content creators just starting right now, and how to deal with, of course, hate, criticism, online criticism, which we all know is going to be present. Whatever you do, no matter how good you are, no matter what you do, people are going to be talking about you, but this is not a bad thing, as we're going to be learning today. So I've just wrote down over here some of the subjects I wanted to talk to you about, so I can have like a sketch with everything. Before we start with everything, I just wanted to clear something about my look and everything I'm wearing today. So if you have questions about them, or if you want to get links or whatever, you're going to find them in the description box, of course. Today I'm wearing beautiful accessories from Hola Amor, which is a Spanish brand. I love their earrings. I'm just going to link them below in the description box so you can find them online. It's beautiful white silk blouse from Ingrid Teodosiu, and I'm just wearing a pair of white jeans I stole from Cora's wardrobe. So yeah, that's about it for accessories and stuff like that. And of course my hashtag Criolito ring, which is something I would like to mention because it's one of my favorites, and I just said, you know what, this really goes well with the video we're doing today. So let's just jump into it because I think it's going to be a quite long video. Just grab your coffee and enjoy the ride. So my blog started back in 2012. I was studying communication and PR here in Cluj-Napoca, and I was in the first year, second semester at the university. All of my group had to have this exam where we would need to have a blog. So I just started my blog on WordPress. By that time, I was really passionate about writing. This is something I really liked in high school. Now, as you might really know, I'm really into foreign languages. I've started a bilingual profile in high school. I'm really into English. I was really into Romanian as well. I mean, I still am, but I've been to the National Olympics, and I just had the amazing luck to have this involved and calm and super inspiring teacher. Her name was Raluca, and I guess I'm just thankful to having amazing teachers like this for Romanian and English and everything, and I just got my passion from there. So when I started my blog, I was already I had an online presence because, you know, as a girl, I've always been passionate about fashion and beauty and everything in between. Again, this is something I somehow inherited from my mother, trying to always see the good part of life. So I had, of course, as any teenager, I had my MySpace profile, I had my High Five profile. I don't know if you remember those social media platforms. I was really keen on the way my profile looked, the way I looked in real life. I mean, I was passionate about styling. I mean, I can't say like styling because I was doing such a little thing. But even when it comes down to wearing our high school uniform, which was this, oh my God, it was such an ugly deep blue shade. I just tried to just style it in different ways. So if I had like this pleats skirt, I just turn it pleats in the back, so I just could have like a mini skirt and just change the look and have something different. We used to shop a lot at secondhands. My mom introduced me to secondhand shops, and I just felt like this was a universe, a completely new and so beautiful universe where you could just express yourself and find unique pieces. Been like on and off with this fashion thing because I don't know, back at the time it just seemed like such a dream to work in the fashion industry and do something related to this. And of course I was just studying, I was in high school, I just had to focus on, you know, whatever you have to focus in high school and just live your teenage lives and years. By the way, the mug is from Nobila Casa, before you ask. I know many of you guys just ask about the cups I have in my video. So this one, I just got it from my godmother, Adina, and this is from Nobila Casa. So this blog thing came very natural to me because by that time in college, I was already I knew about Chiara Ferrani, I knew about Cristina Bazan, I knew about a lot of bloggers, and I was somehow involved in this fashion community because I was activating on sites like Chictopia and Lookbook, and of course Polyvore, if you remember that. Now Polyvore doesn't exist anymore. Chictopia, I don't know if it does. Let me just check. I mean, I'm pretty curious about this. And Lookbook. So mainly Lookbook and Chictopia are just the kind of sites where I've discovered, yeah, Lookbook still exists, Chictopia still exists, but I guess, yeah, so Lookbook just is exactly the same. People from all around the world just posting pictures of their outfits. Chictopia is really working as it used to be, but I guess you can also shop on it. So I guess these were my favorite go-to online places because, you know, I just found a community that was interested in the same things that I was interested, fashion, you know, so I could just share things because I was sharing things on my Facebook. I had Facebook by this time, you imagine, because it was like 2011, 2012, 2011, and I was just sharing so many looks on Facebook, and I was sharing my Chictopia and Lookbook posts. They were always the same on both sites. I was just updating, I'm trying to update everything as much as I could. I didn't have like a professional camera or anything to work with, so I was just snapping a picture whenever I could with the mobile. So yeah, I just remember that every opportunity to take a picture was so special for me, and it was such a big thing, and I was so happy to have another outfit to go online with, you know. By the time I had to do my own blog, everything came together so nicely because I was passionate about writing, and I was already following some of the fellow bloggers, which are super big right now, and I've seen the way they just, you know, went through their lives with the events and everything that happened, and they were writing about it and making pictures and talking about fashion and everything, and I was like, yeah, maybe I could do that, you know? And back in 2012, there weren't so many bloggers. I think in Romania, and excuse me if you've been blogging for a longer period of time, I'm just going to mention two names that I knew back then, three names actually. So the first one was Ana Morodan, which is still around right now and a pretty big name in the online industry. Then the Fab Muses, of course, and Kudea and Sinziana, they had this black and white project with hip-hop influences, and they were on TV, and they have like a big crew and everything seemed like a dream. So yeah, when I had this kind of a challenge, let's say, to have my own blog, my own place, my own online place, and that's why I just called it like a diary, an online journal all the time, because I just felt like I could express myself beyond what was available on Chictopia or Lookbook or other social media sites. I had actually only two people encouraging me, and I want to thank these two girls. One of them was Cesara, and it was such a long time ago. She's so much bigger than me. We've been at this modeling agency together in Târgu Mureș, and she just encouraged me and she said, maybe you can do one of these blog things, you know, since you're posting so many pictures with your looks and everything online, maybe you should have your own space and just not post everything. I was just reposting from Chictopia, to be honest, but just to promote my looks and everything, really using the Facebook platform as a platform to share and just enrich my reach, I guess, on Chictopia. And she said, like, you know what, maybe you should try this and just have your own blog. I kind of researched into this idea and I said, could I have my own blog? This would be like such a cool thing to have my own online space. And then I had another girl again saying to me, yeah, you should do this. This is very interesting. This is a cool subject. Not many people are doing it right now. These were the first two people to encourage me to do it. So again, when it came to the moment to actually do it, you know, because this is what I keep saying to young content creators and young bloggers and people who they're just coming into the industry right now, and just say, like, you do it, just go there and just go on Wix, go on WordPress, go on, I don't know, GoDaddy or something, and just get a site, get a host, get everything you need and just get started, you know? And write about everything you think is lacking from online and something you think is informational and something you think you would like to read about. So yeah, I guess I just had to just do it. So my very first post, and I'm just going to search it right now. My very first post was called My Blog in an Evening Look, translated from Romanian, blogul meu înținutul de seară. And this was kind of what I thought about was, of course, I had to do this post for the exam because we had to have like two or three posts until the exam, and we had to know how to work in the admin panel on WordPress.com and so on. There are just a few lines. If you look over here, I mean, it's just so crazy. I'm just directly translating into English, so excuse if I'm just staring at the screen in between. So the reasons why I've started this blog are diverse. First of all, the exam. Above my wish to write in general, it's my wish to bring something beautiful into this world. I kind of think I succeeded with this. I mean, 8 years later, I can't believe it's been 8 years, guys. Such a long time. And we just thought a few nights in a row, how would it be if we had a blog? And I was talking to Raluca Mureșan from Daily Look or Cezara Bora, and they were telling me, you should, e musai, to start a blog. So behind this spark that made me wish to have such a blog, I do find out that it's like compulsory to have it for my PC operating class in the college. So I was just writing, how many more reasons do you need? Do you need any more reasons? I think these few lines are so powerful right now, and this is something maybe you should go back and just read. They're in Romanian. I wasn't translating the site in English yet, but we're going to translate everything in English because I just want to have like an archive with everything that happened. This is something I really do. Whenever I feel like I don't have enough inspiration or stuff like that, I'm just going back in time. And Chiara Ferragni for me just served as an example for the way she created her business, the way she just grew her business and her blog and everything in between. I mean, she's a businesswoman after all. Not so much on the looks, because I think there are so many other creative bloggers who don't get hype on the way they dress or the mix and matches they do. But I just used to do this thing where I went on Chiara's side or on Christina's side back in time, and I was like, okay, I've started for 2 years and I just feel like I'm not getting somewhere, like I'm not getting what I want to be. I was just searching through their site to see, because every blog has like a timeline, so you can just go and see what were they doing 2 years after they started blogging and so on. Now, again, this is not something you can say per se is going to work for you, because when you're coming from such a small country as Romania is, and don't get me wrong, I do love my country, I do love Romanians, I do love Romania. This is what made me, you know, this is what helped me grow, but I do want to grow further, and I really do think that maybe if I was born in another freaking place, maybe in Italy or in Spain or in France or in the States or whatever, I would just be able to gain such a larger audience faster. So yeah, that was something that I was doing, trying to compare what was going on, like lightly compare, like what were they doing, like what kind of content they have. And this is something young creative in the industry can maybe relate to. So if you're just starting with this online creative content business, let's say, you just don't have to go and say, oh my god, I'm never going to get there, oh my god, this is so difficult to achieve. You just have to compare your journey to other people's journey, but on same levels, you know. It's just much easier to process. I was thinking about starting a blog about fashion, style in general, about interior design, of course, about my life as a student in Cluj, because it's so beautiful. And I'm here. Tonight I'm posting a video about my blog dress in an evening look. So I'm just reposting something from Pipto. This is Kelsey Martinovic for Pipto Autumn Winter 2011 Glam Rock Collection video. This is something from Vimeo. I do like how that kind of a descriptive article just works for me, and just the way it gets you into the story. And if you've been with me for like quite some years, maybe 7-8 years or so since I've started the blog, you know what I'm talking about. I was taking you with me everywhere I went. I was just writing, and this is something I really found, like being present is so important. And for me, even if I'm on holiday or stuff like that, I'm just grabbing my laptop and just writing a few lines. You can do it in your agenda, you can do it on your laptop, on your iPad, and even on your phone, because things are getting so easy right now in 2020. But it's important to just catch the feeling, like maybe describe everything that's going on around you. I mean, if this is your style, you can do whatever you want. This was just my way of trying to incorporate the mood and feelings around me and just pour my soul into this article. So yeah, this is about it on how I started my blog. It was actually a college exam for my communication and PR and PC operation class. So I do have to give a very big shout out and thank you to my professor. I don't know if he's still working there right now, but Professor Deak, he played such a big role in everything that I'm doing right now. You know, by the time we had the exam, everybody was in the class. I was just sitting down in my computer with my WordPress open on my site and everything, and he wanted to see the stats. And he was like, oh my God, you have some good stats over here, so maybe you should just keep the blog and maybe you could just make money out of it. So at that time, I was like, I didn't know if he was talking about, you know, Google ads or Dior campaigns or stuff like that. But in the end, he was right. And that was, I mean, it's just such an important thing to have such a, I can't say really that he was like a mentor to me, like my high school Romanian teacher was, because she inspired me a lot. But he was the one that pushed that button and just said, you know what, you should keep it. You should do this, you should keep the blog. And without him, none of this would have been possible, to be honest. There will be these kind of people in your life, and if you do pay attention, people to the signs, it's very important to be the right person at the right time, at the right place, of course. But this is just something you create for yourself, you know? I mean, the main thing I like to focus on, related my vision for every year and stuff like that, is just going forward, moving forward. I am my only competition. I need to move forward, do something I've never done before, do something new, be more creative, break the rules, break the boundaries, just do something different that I've done before. And I'm just keep asking myself, what did you do today for your dream? I'm feeling lazy and I feel like I can't work and stuff like that. And the second question is, of course, like, are you the kind of person you would like to meet? Like, are you creative enough? Are you better than, is this Alina better than the Alina of yesterday? So these are important questions to ask yourself as a content creator. And just think there are so many ways to be creative right now, and you can express yourself through so many things. And we should all appreciate what we've got with our online jobs, because I can express myself through videos, through photos, through an article, through different capsule collections, through different projects and events and everything we do with the magazines and the TV shows. And there are so, I mean, this just makes my soul happy. I don't know if you understand me. I'm a Gemini. I get bored so fast. I just need something new every day, and this is just a perfect job for me. Now, people kept asking me, what if you wouldn't have started the blog? What would you work actually? So my first option when I started my journey, and I was getting closer and closer to the student life, was, I mean, I was really passionate about drawing. And I do have a talent when it comes to painting and drawing and stuff like that. This is something I inherited from my father. And I wanted to go to the University of Design. I don't know how many of you know this story. Just imagine that one weekend I was in Târgu Mureș, just, you know, not caring about anything because I was in high school and just partying and enjoying my life. And the other weekend I was coming to Cluj, and I just had my private lessons with professors from the university, design university, and they were teaching us like portrait and design, and I had like product design. So I was doing everything from hair dryers to irons to flat irons to screws to, I mean, everything you could imagine to design. So this was my life for like 2 years. Last 2 years of high school, going back and forth between my hometown and Cluj for these private lessons for portrait and product design. After the time, it was that moment of the exam, and the first one was the portrait one, and I failed it, so I wasn't able to go further into the next product design exam. So that was kind of my first disappointment, very, very big disappointment in life, because I really wanted to go to art school. I just felt like I wasn't good enough, like the other students had like more chances because they went to an art high school, and of course this was true, because how could you compare something I studied for like 2 years? I mean, beyond having talent, you just have to exercise everything, and this is something I just wanted to make you understand, that it's not enough to just have talent. You have to practice it day by day in order to get beautiful results. So even if I had like a second and third option, and my second option was the communication and PR college that I actually ended up with, the communication and PR class, it was a really challenging time for me, and I was just not interested at all about communication and PR, and about the fact that, you know, having had like a super good national exam grade, it was 970 something, 980 something, I don't really remember. It was a good grade, and I just had a good chance to enter among the first, which I did. So, but I just wasn't interested, you know. And when it comes back into my mind, I just want to say, like, you just don't have to have a plan, you know, because things in life are just going to work out as they should for you. So if things don't go according to your plan, don't be sad, don't go crazy, don't overthink, you know, because one way or another things are going to be good for you. So yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe if I wasn't at this communication and PR class, maybe I didn't have the blog, maybe this whole thing wasn't even possible. So yeah. I don't know, when people ask me like, what would you see yourself doing besides this creative online thing? I think it's designing clothes. I think is maybe working in the art industry or working in the creative industry one way or another, maybe PR or just working for different brands and stuff like that. I just need a kind of a job that keeps me busy, kind of a job that is very diverse, and we have a lot of things going on. I mean, I can't really just stay in an office and do the same thing over and over again, because I get bored. I'm a Gemini, I get bored pretty fast. So I think this is maybe the ideal job for me, let's say, because you get to express yourself in so many ways, as I said before. Now let's just jump into one of the hottest subjects, and I know this is something you've been expecting a lot, so I'm just going to give you my 2 cents on haters and online criticism, and how you should maybe behave in online, and how you should cope with the criticism if you're just starting, or if you have an online presence and you keep thinking about the online criticism, which is something that is going to happen. So no matter if you're doing good or bad, people are going to talk. First of all, my main advice would be not to take criticism from someone who you wouldn't go to for advice, okay? So, I mean, we do get a lot of criticism online because people don't really get to see who we really are and how much we work. And if you have your own business, you know what I mean. When you have your own business, you just work non-stop. It's up to you how much you evolve by how much you work, which is the amount of work you put into, you know, that's going to be like the result you're going to get. So of course, this is the very first thing I would advise you, and this is the very first thing that comes to my mind right now, because we do have a lot of online hate, a lot of online criticism, and this is just something that you shouldn't, and I myself shouldn't just look at and just bring close to my soul, because it isn't something you should keep close to you. This is something that steals your energy. This is something that steals your creativity. People are going to talk no matter if you do good or bad. It doesn't even matter. Some people just make some kind of a habit out of this, just staying on their laptops or on their iPhones and just going online and just saying bad and mean things about everybody. I mean, just think about it. Think about it for a second. As a professional in your industry, did you or would you ever go online on someone's project or profile or whatever and just say mean things to them, or just criticize in a way that it's obviously not constructive? And first of all, I mean, if I were to do that, I would do it in private, okay? So if I see a fellow blogger that has some kind of a flaw in their, I don't know, production or the way they handle things online or something they said or promote, I'm just going to write a message and say, hey, I just think that maybe you should try to work on these things. Maybe this would help you. Here are some links. Maybe this is going to be helpful for you, and so on. But most of people just make a habit from just staying online, trolling and writing mean comments about other people. So as long as those people don't do the same work that you do, that we do, so if you don't play in my arena, if you don't do what I do, and first of all, if you don't do it better than I do it, so we go back to that place where if I can't come to you for advice, if I wouldn't come to you for advice, I'm not going to take in your criticism, because it's just blank for me, you know? It's not worth it. It's not worth using and spending my time and my energy on such a thing. They do not behave as you should behave online, and I do understand all kinds of ideas and the fact that we have this democracy online and everything is liberated and you can say whatever you want. I mean, you know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, you know, but that doesn't mean you should expose it online all the time. So yeah, this is what I think when it comes to criticism, you know, because I think many of you might be dealing with criticism maybe right now or on other projects. Just deal with it like this. If I'm not coming to you to ask for advice, please, I mean, not even, I mean, just don't bother. Creativity is such a fragile thing, such a volatile thing, because one second you have it, the other second you can just lose it. First of all, because of the phone. Now, the phone is something we are using a lot as content creators, but oftentimes I just find myself wanting to put it on airplane mode or just put it away and just, you know, so I can just do my job and do whatever I like the most and just be creative, or maybe spend some time in post-production, spend some time researching and reading. And now with mobile phones, we are so right there. We are so available to everybody that it just, sometimes it drives me nuts. Once I tried to have these free Mondays. My Mondays became a weekend because I was working on weekends. Now I don't work so much on weekends and I just keep the weekend for myself, you know. But it wasn't working because everybody was just waking up, and just Monday is the craziest day, like between 10 o'clock and maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. These are 4 critical, trust me, critical hours when everybody's going to call you, message you, ask you about projects and budgets and emails and posts and what we have to do and what we have to plan and so on. We have to do this and that, because Monday by itself, you know, it's that kind of a day where you have to feel productive. You wake up, you have your coffee, you just put your lipstick on and you have fun and you call everybody and try to solve things. So that didn't work for me. But what works for me is, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. If I have to do something creative, if I have to do my research, if I have to do anything related to post-production, I'm just going to put it on airplane and just leave it right there to rest and just give myself a little bit of thinking space and time, which is super important when it comes to creativity. Now, regarding how I get creative, I think we all should get inspired by all the moments we have in our lives. I mean, from the smallest thing that you see on the street, from the skies, from a sunset, from the books you're reading, from the movies and documentaries you see on Netflix. I'm really big into Netflix. I've just seen this documentary, for example. It's called Be Brave by Brené Brown. And this was something like an awakening for me, because all our lives we've been taught that being brave, courageous is at the opposite spectrum of being vulnerable. And it's not true at all, because they're one and the same. In order to be creative, you just have to be courageous, in order for me to be a better Alina than I was yesterday, I just have to jump headfirst into the next video, into the next project, into the next brand I'm working with, and just not really think about how other influencers or other people are doing stuff. I'm just focusing on what I used to do and what I can do better. You know what I mean? So yeah, most of the times, it's going to end in criticism. It's going to end maybe in failure. But this is the only way you can evolve, and the only way, if you're not brave, and you can be vulnerable with your choices, because when you make a choice regarding a creative direction for a project or another one, and this is something very important in online, because we're just a handful of people getting the same projects, the same products and stuff like that, and it's up to you how you present them. It's super, super important to be brave, to be courageous. I just think that it's super important to have your own creative direction, to work as much as you can with yourself, and just try to explore new ways you haven't explored before when it comes to everything creative. And I'm not just talking about online, you can apply this to every field you're working with in life. So again, these are just my 2 cents on whatever I had to say about the creative industry and haters and online criticism and everything in between. So if you do want to join this industry, and I would like to end this video this way, because I think this is the most functional way. I'd like to give you some advice on maybe how you should do it. And first of all is, do not wait for a reason, just do it, like Nike. Just go, create a brand, create a profile, create a website, just start a YouTube channel, do whatever you have to do, but just do it already. Stop waiting for someone. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for you to have a budget, the perfect camera, the perfect microphone. I don't know. I just stop thinking about these things. When we all started, I had nothing, back in the days, I didn't even have like a good cell phone. When I started, we were taking pictures with some stupid old Canon camera, little red camera from Canon, something you could just hold on to your wrist and just go and just blitz everything you could see. So just stop waiting for this kind of things. Just do it. This would be my main advice, because if you do this, you are one step forward. Consistency is key. This is, first of all, the most important thing. After this, of course, going to events and creating your own connection with people from the industry. Very important for people to see you at the events, to know that you actually exist. So if you're coming from a small town or a small city, don't ever be disappointed, and just don't stop believing in yourself. You just have to be there. People have to see you, and you just have to give the best you can. Be professional, be on time, work on it, just show people how much you want to get where you dream. Network. Go to events that are important to your niche. Go to all kind of parties and magazine launches and product launches and so on. You just have to have your choice on whatever you want to do. So just This is something we've learned from one of the biggest YouTubers out here. Be the best broccoli you can be. So don't be a salad, just be the best damn broccoli you can be. Just don't know what else I would like to say to you. I've talked so much in this video. I knew it was going to be such a long video. Thank you so much for bearing with me. No, it's just me and the camera right now at home, but you have to think the same. Like, people are out there watching me talking about this topic. I hope you found this interesting enough. And don't forget to subscribe and everything. I'm just, these things are going to pop up at the end of the video, and you can subscribe to my channel if you want. We are posting videos in both English and Romanian and talking about different subjects. Of course, beauty, fashion, sport, and vlogs and all kinds of things. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you'll get inspired, let's say, by this journey of mine, and hope it will inspire you to create, because this is one of the most important things in life. And do not ever forget, you, my darling, you are your only competition. Focus on whatever is important to you and just ask yourself every day, what did I do today for my dream? That's all you have to do. And that's going to just awaken you every day and say, oh, I do have to film. I do have to edit some photos. I do have to get informed and research, do my research and stay informed and so on. So I guess that's all I had to say. La fix.